So if you could make a part of your job easier, what would you change?
All the office stuff. Get somebody to take care of a lot of the office stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, babies in their diapers, welcome to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.
That's me, Tiberius.
And welcome to the Tiberius Show today, and I'm your host, Tiberius Boy. And as always, looking at various jobs and how they affect the world around us. Today's guest is going to be very interesting. We're going to talk to an HVAC business owner. Do you have any idea what HVAC is? Well, I mean, I think I do, but hey, let's talk to this guy and find out. Let me introduce our next guest, the one, the only, the amazing, John Perez.
Hey, how's it going?
Nice to see you again.
Likewise.
Okay, so you are listed as an owner of an HVAC business. So for my listeners that have no idea, what exactly is HVAC?
Heating, ventilating, and air conditioning.
Okay, so this is like air conditioning and heating, but what is ventilation?
Bath ventilation, dryer ventilation, kitchen hoods in commercial settings, bringing in outside air, things like that.
Okay, so what got you interested in working with air conditioning?
Well, kind of just fell into it. When I was in high school, had to kind of pick a trade because I wasn't really interested in college. And just kind of picked air conditioning. Graduated, got a job. It's hot. And when you start off, you don't really get the best job. So I fell out of it for a couple of years, screwed around as a young adult. And then, later in life, I kind of just rejoined and liked it and, went up from there, from the ground up,
Mm-hmm. So since you're an expert, you can help solve a real problem that most people have in their homes. What's the best temperature to put your air conditioner at?
Whatever temperature you're comfortable at. It's your house. There's no real definitive, They say that if you take the numbers off of a thermostat and you just had an up and down, 76, something like that, 78 actually would be a temperature you'd be comfortable with. A lot of people, they turn the temperature extra cold more because of humidity than sometimes temperature, because they're just trying to get that comfort zone where they're not feeling sticky and sweaty. Mm-hmm. But whatever temperature you want it, turn it to that temperature. Now, it's not the most energy efficient, but, if you got the money to pay the bill, turn it to what you want.
So, John, we live in Florida. Why do we need a heater since it's like super hot?
We had a few days of cold, don't you remember?
Yeah, but I mean, it was a few days.
Those few days are pretty rough. If you don't have a heater, you'd be surprised. There's a lot of people that don't use them. But for those rare days that it's cold, it's nice to have it.
So what are the things we can do to keep our air conditioner working longer?
Change a filter. That's the most important thing. There's really nothing much more you can do as a homeowner except for change your filter religiously.
Now, your job is this as the owner of a business. How did you get from installing ACs to running a business?
Good question. It got to a point where I was pretty high up and I worked my way up through a local air conditioning company. I was estimating and running jobs, and it seemed like the natural progression. I wasn't so sure in the very beginning. I was very excited about that because I kind of liked my job, and there was always these challenges of not really having to deal with the money aspect, but more of like landing work, answering questions, and doing cool jobs. And I was kind of concerned starting my own business that it would just be, starting so small and it would just be a little bit daunting. But eventually, my wife at the time was like, what you're doing, start your business, enough's enough kind of situation. And I had a pretty good, starting off point where I knew some guys, so I was able to get some work and just started from there.
Okay. So what's the coolest or most fun project that you've worked on?
Well, we've done a lot of cool stuff, being small and then being diversified and having a commercial background. I've done a lot of cool bars downtown, get to go on top of a lot of buildings downtown that are, rare. You get to see things. You get to see like what's going to be built before a lot of people know it's going to be there. I was just in there's a new Asian supermart, and we're doing something that's attached. It's adjacent, but hard hat, and you look official. So I walked the whole thing and getting to see stuff like that because it's going to be massive. It's like a Costco could fit inside of it almost. I mean, it's huge. Oh wow! And I got to see all the mechanical. I was going through the mechanical room, looking at all the mechanical stuff. I went on the roof, looked at all that stuff.
Wow.
And that sometimes that's stuff that really enjoys me, just kind of seeing what I don't know.
So how long does it take to learn the skills needed to run an HVAC business?
You're always learning. That's a open-ended question. So, is a one person a company as much as anybody else? I think there's a fear of you hire the wrong guy or put the wrong person in charge, but and that's what I'm working through now. I've got good guys that have been with me for a long time, and I got to start stepping back. And it's funny because it's the number one thing I complain about at home is I never can really take a vacation because there's always going to be something that's going to be there. And I'm like, oh, one day I'm going to take an entire week off. And but to get to that point, you have to have somebody the week prior and the week post still continuing everything as usual, so you don't come back to why did I take a week off, because now it's going to take me a month to catch up. So that's that weird spot where you're working yourself ragged. But I am slowly but surely letting go of the reins to a lot of different positions and sending people out on stuff that I know I can do it. But you got to put faith into the guys that are working with you,
So what is one thing you think kids should know about working in the HVAC industry?
It's a lot harder than people think. The summer days are hot. The mornings are early. A lot of people say, I want to start this business, or I want to learn this business. But a lot of them in the beginning just can't keep up with the old guys. It's funny, it takes a while to get used to, and you got to really have a drive of a reason more than just I want to learn AC, because you could learn anything. It really wouldn't matter what you learn. So learning AC is just learning a trade. You go to the next day and say, I want to be an electrician when you're starting out. It's really just having work ethic.
So what is one thing you think kids should... Oh, I did it again.
You gotta pay attention, Tiberius. Because of the new angle, I can't do it all.
You got up, I was like, what did you do this time? I was looking at that thing right there instead of actually the question.
Yeah.
Didn't realize if you did it or not.
I don't know where to look either. It's all good.
Now here seems like a good time to take a quick commercial break. Let's hear a word from our sponsors.
How about try doing that one again? With some energy and excitement and happiness and a smile on your face.
Now here seems like a good time to take a quick commercial break. Let's hear a word from our sponsors.
So you want to make an ad for your company, right?
Yeah, Tiberius, you want to help me?
Okay, so what's the name of the company?
PPWND.
PP what?
Professional Pressure Washing and Detailing.
So you like clean driveways?
Yeah, like that. We pressure wash commercial buildings and semi-truck and trailers.
So how would someone get a hold of you?
They can visit my site at ppwnd.com or call me at 407-900-7793.
So I just tell them to call you at 407-900-7793 or visit ppwnd.com?
Yeah, Tiberius, you got it.
Cut! That's a wrap! Just use that!
Oak Ridge Gun Range is a family-oriented shooting range that has been in business for over 30 years. They specialize in basic firearm training and offer numerous services such as consignments, gun trades, gunsmithing, and concealed weapon classes. I even got my training for gun safety at Oak Ridge Gun Range. Great customer service, and firearm safety is what they do best. So find out more at oakridgegunrange.com.
And we are back here talking with John Perez. John is the owner of Sky Air and Heat. So, John, what is the hardest part about running an HVAC business?
I think, the hardest part of running my business is the learning new things. You don't know what you don't know until you find out that, you're behind the eight ball and this should have been turned in this manner or something like that. It's something that you're always learning, but it keeps it alive. But it is, every permitting department in every city is completely different, and they all have to be treated a certain different way, and they all need to have their paperwork in a certain way, and it is quite annoying, to say the least.
Okay, so what is the part of your job that you look forward to every day?
I think the best part of the day is every morning. Just, okay, what do we have in front of us? Where did we finish yesterday? Just kind of knowing where everyone's going and making sure everyone's out the door with, a plan is probably the best part of the day.
All right. So if you could make a part of your job easier, what would you change?
All the office stuff. Get somebody to take care of a lot of the office stuff. It's a catch-22 because I know I need to be in the office, but I still, enjoy, checking jobs and finding problems and solutions and being in the field. But, right now the hardest thing is making sure I'm in the office to make sure I'm doing all the important things, make sure everyone gets paid.
So what are some of the greatest challenges that you had to overcome while working in the HVAC industry?
I don't really know. Let's see here. My biggest challenges? I think it's being able to mentally grapple with, the growth and getting into debt, buying trucks, as fast as they come. My personal truck is the oldest. My personal truck has got the most miles, and everyone has, nice new trucks and things like that, or, looking to expand into, a building. And what all is involved with that, that's been something that we're trying to do. And every time you turn around, something else is, you don't want to move in if it's not ready, but at the same time, you just got to move in, and everything else it'll work its way out. But that's, I don't know if I answered your question, but.
So wait, did your company install our new AC unit for the studio?
Yes, we sure did.
Oh, wow. We had to move all of my radio stuff. Why?
Well, because all this stuff is, super sensitive. So it's always better to protect, anything that, it's a very dusty job. We had to drill through the exterior wall for the copper and the drain. So it's better that you protect all of your stuff, because don't trust an AC guy, to protect all your machines. And no. That's not the way it goes.
So it really does look better now, and it's a lot cooler in here. Thank you a lot. But what is the craziest thing that's happened while running your business?
That's a hard question. Question. I don't know. I'll have to come back to that one, because I don't know if anything really crazy has happened. Crazy stories, crazy customers, crazy jobs. Sure, but I don't know. It's going to be hard to pinpoint something that would maybe embarrass somebody down the road.
So what are skills that a kid should work on learning to be able to work in this industry?
I would say best skills is taking on any job and finishing it. Doesn't matter if you're raking or mowing, but, finish any job you're doing. If it's, some side chores, finish it 100% and do it with a little bit of, motivation that you're asking him to work. So they're allowing you. So show some appreciation and get to it,
So who can you say has helped or inspired you the most?
Well, I think the person that inspired me the most is different than the person that helped me the most. My mom inspired me. She was a hard-working woman, and so that gave me and everything growing up as a kid, do what you say what you do, all of those, moral values that make me, the person you want to do business with. The person that helped me the most was, a boss that I hated the entire time, but he's the one that always put my feet in the fire. And he also said, you might be the youngest guy in the room, but I'm going to stick with you, even if you make a bad decision, because, you can, he was like, you do it and you're going to figure it out. And I do that with my guys now. A lot of these guys, they don't have confidence. They haven't seen a piece of machinery, or they've never been on a specific job. And I'll say, let's just figure it out. Call me if you have questions. But if it's something that you can do, if it's wrong, I'm not going to blame you, because this is a learning process. And if I always show you how to do it, you're not going to get those critical thinking skills to figure it out when I am on that beach, in a year or two, and I don't have to answer the phone because the guy did figure it out.
So what is the best advice that you've ever received, and who gave you that advice?
Well, it's a silly one, but it was when I worked as a teenager at the Winn-Dixie, and he told me, he said, always walk fast. He's an older guy. He could walk so fast. And he goes, I don't care if you don't know where you're going or if you have nowhere to go, but if you walk there fast, you look like you've got intent, and that'll get you pretty far sometimes.
So what message do you tell children all over the world about doing the work that you do?
I would say that, no matter what you do, as long as you're honest, as long as you're going to do the right thing, don't be scared to say bad news. Bad news is better than no news. Avoiding a bad situation doesn't make it any better. And whatever your path is, it really doesn't matter what path you take. Those are the things that are going to get you through, whether you're a lawyer, a doctor, or an AC guy.
Well, on that note, let's take a quick break to pay some bills.
The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of their dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom Braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering to trophies and awards. The cool part about Custom Designs is they can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373 and tell them that
Tiberius
sent you.
Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org.
And we're back with John Perez, owner of Sky Air. So John, what is the most misunderstood part about your business?
I'm not sure. That's a hard one. I mean, customers call us about everything, and not everything is the AC guy's fault. Sometimes we have a little bit to do with it, but that's a hard question for me to answer. Sorry.
So what is something that most people should know to reduce the expenses of their air conditioner?
Well, like I said, changing your filter is the most important thing you can do. Keeping your unit clean. If you have pets, you definitely want to change your filter more often. If you keep it extra cold in your house and your AC is always running, change your filter more often. Biannual maintenance is preferred. We offer annual, biannual. It just depends on, the preferences. We even do quarterly for some customers. But, call when it's broke, change your filter every month, and you should be in pretty good shape.
So John, what was that one thing that happened in your career that you did not expect?
That's a hard question. These are harder questions in the second half. What was one thing that happened in my career that I did not expect? Maybe more surprised. I mean, I didn't know that the guys that work with me would be with me for a long time. I mean, I was always hoping that, but I guess I wasn't expecting it. And it's been a huge blessing, getting to grow with these guys and work and, be as a team. But my previous business was more of a high-paced, there was kind of new people coming in and coming out all the time. So, it's pretty rewarding as well.
Now, do you think AI has a positive role in your industry, or are you worried it might take over parts of a job and cost people a living?
I think I'm excited for AI to be more user-friendly, especially with, new technicians, guys learning, guys coming up. What are the most common ways? Air conditioning is pretty universal as far as the process and diagnosing problems. So that's why, a guy that's been in it for a while can service basically any brand. You add in some AI and invoicing will be easier on my end. So, bring on some AI. I'm all for that. I just don't know how to use it at the moment.
So if you could go back in time and give your 14-year-old self advice, what would it be?
Well, it's going to be a little odd of advice, but I guess one of my smaller regrets was I was pretty close to joining the Air Force, and I kind of just chickened out and wanted to be, not held down. But I mean, a lot of my friends that are older now, you get to hear some stories about stuff like that and what the different experiences for everyone. But I would say, 14-year-old self, if you were thinking about joining a branch of the military, don't be so scared. Just do it.
Mm-hmm. So what was the biggest mistake that you've ever made, and how did it change you as a person?
Oh, goodness. The biggest mistake I've ever made. Because your head, you just roll around. You're like, okay, the mistake that, that affected my life or a mistake that affected, everyone else's life. Well, honestly, probably the biggest mistake is when I was in my 20 years old. Maybe I was driving with one too many alcoholic beverages in my system, and that I know. Well, we're getting real here, and
DUI.
It was
DUI.
it was probably the biggest mistake of my life. Yeah, I think that was a pretty bad one.
So what do you do for fun when you're not working?
Love to go to the beach, paddleboard, anything outside. Tried to get some guys to go hiking the Grand Canyon last year, and then the hurricane hit.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll try again this year. I did it with some friends a couple years back, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
So do you play video games? And if you do, what's your favorite one?
I do not play video games, unfortunately. I know.
Not even on your phone?
I don't have any games on my phone. I don't have Facebook or Instagram. I know. I live vicariously through everybody else, but I get enough people texting me Instagram memes that I think I'm doing just fine.
Well, what is your favorite book to read then? If you don't play video games or have social media, you gotta have a book to read, right?
I do enjoy reading. I do. It's something I picked up later in life, and I do enjoy it. I had a couple of the self-help books, like a David Goggins and stuff like that. That was an amazing book. And then after a few of those, they kind of get a little repetitive. So, it got into, they had a Netflix show about it. It's like All the Light You Cannot See. And I found out, the show's off a book. Let me get the book. And then I actually never watched the other half of the show. So I need to go back and see how different it is. But I'm reading one now. It's called Colorless. I don't know who it's from. It was just given to me. And I can't really even tell you what that book's about. And I'm almost done with it. So, but I keep turning the pages because you're like, every 20 pages is a different story about this guy. But I really don't. I mean, it's interesting, but I have no idea what it's about.
Doesn't connect.
And I'm not learning anything either. So it's not. I will pick up anything interesting.
All right. Can you tell me that one story? Remember, this is a kid's show, but that one story, that you're not supposed to tell me about. Come on. You can tell me.
Well, I would say we did, me and some friends went to spring break in the Bahamas and may or may not have been convinced to do like one of those, hot bod contest or whatever it seemed to be in the Bahamas when you're 20 years old. And they talked me to go on stage and do that. And that was pretty embarrassing.
Wow. Well, what happened? Did you do it?
Of course I did it. Yes, of course I did it. And, we laughed and it got out of hand. And who knows who won. And probably wasn't me if I don't remember that far ahead. But,
if you don't remember that far ahead, I think you were just drunk.
yeah, maybe so. It was spring break in the Bahamas. So,
well, is there anything else you think my listeners should know about you and what you do?
Well, we do all kinds of things, but anything HVAC related in Central Florida, all the way to the East Coast. We don't tend to go very west. Traffic's too bad, but if you're looking for a solid AC company that'll tell you like it is, we're there for you.
We'll do a Facebook or website for my listeners who want to follow you.
Yes, my website is skyairandheat.com. And that is a very simple web page that goes straight to me and straight to my phone. Anything you type in any of those columns comes straight to me. So, you could always reach out through any of those channels or Google me and just give me a call.
So you can just type in one of the columns and have billing address.
It's
hey,
surprising.
It's me, Tiberius
Need a
John.
quote,
How are you doing
contact
today?
us, looking for a job. It doesn't matter what tab you click. If you put something in, it's going to go to my email.
So what is that one question that you think I forgot to ask you?
You asked me so many questions I didn't think you were going to ask me. So what's the one question you thought I was going to ask?
You think I forgot to ask you?
Where am I going to retire?
When are you going to retire?
I'm looking forward to it. I can't believe that is another surprising thing that you're going to find out is you're going to be in your 40s and you've already been working hard for 20 plus years and you start looking at stuff and you're like, society expects me to work for another 20 years. It saddens me every day. So that's why I'm working hard. So hopefully I can beat the odds.
Well, thank you, John, for being my special guest. Can you stick around for Math Corners?
Sure.
Aw, Dad, my computer's slow again and I can't play my games.
Call Your Computer Solutions today and we will scan for viruses and clean that computer up remotely and make it fast again. Our phone number is 407-826-0810.
Thanks, Dad. My computer's fast again. Now I can do my homework. Thanks for calling Your Computer Solutions at 407-826-0810.
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners!
And thank you, John, for helping me with Math Corners. This week, we're going to solve all these tough word problems. My dad is always good at finding new problems for me to solve. And today, we're going to talk about installing some ductwork. Seems like your type of thing did it.
Yeah, I'm anxiously awaiting.
You ready? So a technician is installing a new ventilation system in a house. The house has 3 rooms that need air vents. The living room requires 2 large vents, each costing $75. The kitchen needs 1 medium vent, which costs $50. And the bedroom requires 2 small vents, each costing $40. Additionally, the technician needs 30 feet of ductwork, which costs $5 per foot. Okay? Now the labor cost for installation is $200 per room. So what's the cost for the entire project?
You want me to answer that?
Nah, I got it. Well, first is a world problem because, it's important to know your costs before you do an installation and make sure the homeowner can afford to pay for the project, all the simple stuff. But to solve this problem, you first have to figure the cost for each part separately. The vents costs are 2 large ones, which is about $150 because it's 75 times 2. And one for the kitchen, which is $50, so we're up to $200 for like a full room. And now we have 2 for the bedroom at $40 each. That's $80. So we're looking at a total of $280 for the vents. Now we look at the ductwork, which is 30 feet times 5. That's easy, 150. Finally, you have the labor, which is 3 rooms, so 3 times 2, 100 per room is $600. So now you have to add all the items together. 600 plus 150 is 750. And add the 280 that you got from the events, and you get 1,030 total. So the entire project will cost $1,030. Do you agree with that?
I agree.
Okay. So John, do you have to plan out the cost of each room before doing a project?
We do it, yes, when we design it per room, but I do my proposal or my bid based on the entire job.
Well, my teacher said that I would use math every day. How do you use math with your work?
I use math every day, yes. Figuring out square footage, cubic feet per minute, and then figuring out air changes per hour. All of these things require math, and all of these things I use every day.
Well, thank you so much, John, for your help with Math Corners.
You're welcome.
Now it's time for the Heart of a Lion. As you know, we talk about the qualities of living by the heart of a lion, which stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and nobility. This week, we're going to talk about integrity. For me, I think integrity is doing what is right, even when no one else is looking. The qualities of integrity is honesty, sincerity, truthfulness, and fairness. Yesterday at lunch, I saw a kid drop a $10 bill walking to his table. I noticed my friend Tom pick it up and ran after him to give it back. He was really surprised and thanked him. I talked to him about it, and he said that he thought about how he would feel if he lost his money and someone took it. Felt good to do the right thing, even though no one told him to do it. I think that's what integrity is doing. What's right, and no matter what. So, John, did you see or use integrity at all this week?
I see and use integrity every day. Yes. I think that my employees have integrity. They try to, go the extra mile or pick up the job site even though it's not theirs. And I'm not saying everyone doesn't have their good and bad days when it comes to that kind of stuff. But, I think integrity is extremely important. And I think that when you have integrity, I think it's almost like the rumor of who you are is when you walk into a room and people know that you'll do what you say. And it's a good feeling to have, and it's worth putting in the extra work to do the right thing.
All right. Well, of all of the Heart of Lion virtues, which is the one that you see the most?
And the virtues of the lion are again?
Leadership, integrity, obedience, and nobility.
Actually, when you're going through the integrity, I think that encompasses so much about all the other stuff. I think if you have strong integrity, some of the other things are going to follow in suit. So as you were going through today is Integrity Day, I think that it's extremely important, and it's something that you're always working on.
Well, we should always try to be lion strong in everything we do, shouldn't we?
Absolutely, lion strong.
And that's our show, folks. I want to thank the one, the only, the amazing John Perez for being on my show. It has been so much fun talking to you today. I think we learned a lot about heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, as well as skills needed to run a business. Do you mind giving your social media and website again?
Yes, you can reach me at skyairandheat.com. Or you can call us at the office, 407-622-1725.
Also, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at The Tiberius Show. And I would like to thank WWPR 1490 AM, K1998, Soul Radio 24/7, Easy Way TV, and all the other stations that air my show. And please be sure to visit The Tiberius Show on YouTube and hit that subscribe button. John, are you subscribed yet?
Of course.
Are you sure?
Subscribe right before I came in.
Sweet. Oh, and be sure to leave me a comment if you want to work in the HVAC industry. I answer all the comments myself. Also, be sure to listen to us next week on The Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Boy.